Hey guys, Shawn here, and today's our first video on the gift of addiction. Before I get started, I want to let you know, I started this process 28 years ago. And today, where my mind is, where my life is eons away. When I first started getting sober and changing my life, it sucked. I was depressed, it was hard, I didn't know how I was going to do it. But one of the first things that came to me is, up here, I didn't know how, I couldn't figure it out. Everything I've done in the past created failure and sabotage. So the first thing I had to do is go inward and start asking my inner self, really, lead me, help me. I don't know how to love myself. I don't know how to function without using drugs and alcohol in my life, especially socially. So I committed to living the life that lives within me. And that's the first part of this process here for anyone that's being challenged with their addiction. Because letting go of that behavior or that whatever you're addicted to, food, drugs, alcohol, sex, technology, whatever that is, there's gonna be a void there. There's gonna be a huge void. And so going inward, I knew that the answers were there. I just intuitively knew, I had a sense, but I didn't know how. So I started listening to my inner voice. Some of you might wanna call it God, universal energy, your spirit. But that little inner voice. So let's go to the board here. Your commitment to living your life that lives within you. That to me is the first step that anybody needs to take that wants to change their lives. From addiction to using the gift of addiction, which is you and the life that lives within you. So I'm just gonna go over a few things really fast, things that I believe are within us all. The first thing I wanna talk about is your gifts. I believe we are all born and brought into this world with unique abilities and gifts, certain strengths that no one else has that we have to do. If you can start discovering what those are and start developing those, you're on your way. The next thing we're going to talk about is your passions. So we have our passions, so we have our gifts, and those are our unique abilities and talents that we have. And as we develop them, and if we align them with our passions, some people, our passions are life purpose. Those are things that are gonna make you feel good, right? Those are things that excite you, that bring you happiness and fulfillment while you're doing them. So for me, I already loved what I did. I was in the gym business. I love people. I love being part of a positive force in the community with the gym. So I started developing skills that I knew I was good at. Anything that had to do with people, sales, management, leadership. So that's what I started doing. I started aligning my natural abilities and gifts with my passions. And then desires. Desires are the same thing as passion. Whatever you desire in you that is so, what I'm gonna say is it has such a powerful meaning to you, whatever that is. And you know what, if you don't know what it is, before the end of this video, I'm gonna give you some tools to help you discover what that might be for you. And intuition. Our intuition is within us. It's how we feel. It's a sense. We all were born with these senses. But I believe as we go on in life, some of us get disconnected from ourselves and how we feel. And we might be a little brainwashed by things on social media, on TV and magazines, or whatever it might be. And instead of going with what we really feel in our hearts and within ourselves, we do what we think we should do through friends, through social media, through marketing, or whatever that might be. But if you can follow your intuition and have faith, which is right here, then you're gonna start being able to move forward and trust yourself more. And when you do this, you start feeling better about yourself. And I believe when you start doing that, you have true freedom. Becoming who you are and doing the things in life that you love to do, that excite you. And when we do this, we all win because you are contributing to the world we live in with your gifts, with your unique abilities, and you're sharing that, right? Well, when you do that, you win and you're gonna be adding value to people's lives, whatever that is for you. Some people it's technology, some people it's working with people, some people it's building buildings, building hospitals, or maybe you are a doctor, or maybe you're gonna be an artist, or whatever that is for you. But when you share who you are and unique gifts and talents, and you align them with your passions, you're gonna be excited every day when you wake up. And I mean this, man. You're not gonna wanna hit the snooze. You're gonna wanna get up because you're gonna be so juiced about learning more and developing your craft and going out in the world and sharing that, man. And the abundance will be there too. And what I mean by abundance is, yes, we can talk about money. The abundance of money is there. but it's more about the abundance of energy and happiness and fulfillment, truly feeling good every day you wake up about where you're putting your energy and what you're doing. And of course, you're gonna get more energy. And I'm gonna tell you this, what happened for me as I started getting more into my process of my recovery and living my life from within, I started getting more clarity about where my life was taking me. I was enjoying the process. I wasn't struggling, which brings me back to that freedom. You know, I just had a lot of freedom because I felt good about myself, and I knew when I woke up, everything's great and everything's gonna be okay. But the thing that I needed most was love. Most of us that have challenges with addiction, the most important thing to us is that love and connection. And you can get that love and connection through a lot of different avenues. You know, the work you do, relationships, even, you know, love and connection with animals, your family, your friends, your community. But it starts with your own self-love, the way you talk to yourself, the way you treat yourself. And we're gonna get into this later, but that goes more into how we're gonna reprogram our mind and get rid of those old thought patterns in our subconscious mind that we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we don't deserve a good life, you know, we're a piece of shit. You know, whatever was ingrained to you at a young age, that is gonna start to shift. But the love starts with you. You gotta love yourself, man. And that means treating yourself well. You know, that means taking care of your health, getting enough sleep, getting your exercise, movement. You know, taking the time for some meditation, and we're gonna get into that too. Those are part of our daily basics for the gift of addiction. But your strengths, your freedom, your greatness, your unique abilities, and like I said before, you have to have courage to work on the faith, because sometimes you're not gonna believe you can do this and you can move forward, and you're gonna be in a hard spot, but you just gotta know within yourself and trust yourself that yes, you're gonna take that next step. And then as you begin to get these little wins, as I call them, or setting small goals and achieving them, you'll start believing and getting confidence, and before you know it, you're gonna be making big jumps and strides in your life. But every day, you gotta start feeding your mind with the positive energy. Have it be videos, have it be podcasts, have it be reading books that inspire you. Because if you've been going through patterns in your life for years, let's say 10 years, 20 years, even some of you maybe 30 years, that stuff doesn't go away. You can make changes, but something will trigger you emotionally, which brings you back to where you've been before. And if you're not on a conscious level, being mindful enough every day, waking up and using your gifts, aligning with your passions, following your intuition, having faith, and also, you know, connecting with the universal energy. If you want to call it God, your higher power, your spirit, just know that those are the things that are gonna lead you to the next place of success, of happiness, of fulfillment. And it's at the times that are tough that you wanna stay in touch with all these things I'm talking about. But when life gets good and you start creating more success, don't let rest on your laurels, man, because that is sometimes when you get weak and lazy. And I've seen this so much through my life of being in my recovery. People create success and they forget to continue to do the things that brought them to that better place in their life. And they quit doing the things they do. They quit the rituals, the habits, their patterns. And all of a sudden you see them a year later, what happened to you, man? And they don't even know because they weren't mindful enough to understand they were going in the wrong direction. And instead of getting back on the path, they kept going down. And then what I always say is, you can have a bad moment in your day. Don't let it wreck your day. If you have a bad day, don't make it a bad week or month. Just know that, boom, the next morning you wake up, you get up and you do your meditation and you read something inspiring and you go over your goals or affirmations. And these are all tools I'm gonna teach you how to use and do on a daily basis. You just get back on track and you learn from what you learned from that experience. It's not a failure, it never is. It's learning more about, okay, that doesn't work, but this does work, and get back on the patterns that does work. And over time, the way you think is gonna change, the way you behave and act is gonna change, and of course your life is gonna change. The people in your life are gonna change. You're not gonna have the same friends you have now, because you started a different path. You started becoming who you truly are, becoming your authentic self, aligning your life with your gifts and then your passions, and getting up every day and going somewhere, man. And when you start doing this thing, you're not gonna have to get that high. You're not gonna have to escape from your life. You're gonna get high on you, man. You're gonna get high on your passions and your strengths and sharing and adding value to people's lives, and whatever that is for you. You know, success can be a lot of different things for different people. The feeling's the same, but what you're doing to create that in your life is different because we're all unique. I want to summarize everything I went over. So the first step to the gift of addiction is your commitment to living your life that lives within you. And we talked about all these things, your gifts, your passions, your desires, intuition, your freedom, you know, God, your spirit, your strengths, loving yourself. And most of all, guys, be easy on yourself, man. This is a lifelong journey. This is something that little by little you keep getting better, becoming who you are and living your life and your passions and your desires. Have fun, you know, fun, right here. That's the main thing, man. You gotta laugh, you gotta enjoy it, and learn as you go. The thing is, once you start the path, if you veer off just a little bit, just get back on, man, just get back on. What I want you to take away and start doing today is, if you haven't started your gratitude journal, for the next 30 days, 3 to 5 things you're grateful for or appreciative for, and 1 positive experience, big or small, every day. And then I want you to start writing a list of all the things you love to do or you used to love to do. Anything that interests you, that gives you energy, happiness, some kind of spark. And then I want you to write down all the things that you've been naturally good at or you just have an inkling that you're good at. And that's all I want you to do. I want you to write those down, your strengths, things that excite you, that bring you happiness, whatever it is. Just don't even think, just put pen to paper and then start your gratitude journal. And so on the next video, I'm gonna be going over taking 100% responsibility for your life and what that means. And so again, I started this journey 28 years ago. I am doing this work because I know there's a need out in the world and that people are struggling or are challenged with some addiction that's taking them away. What I wanna do is I wanna bring you inward, and I want you to fill yourself with all that you are and then go out in the world, man, and start living it. You know, the gift is you, the life that lives within you. So I'll see you next video. Please leave comments at the bottom. And if you're enjoying what I'm talking about, subscribe to my channel. See you soon. You're most muscular.